yourself. We're needed on the...
After the unexpected launch of the Infinity with some young crew aboard, we're
Don't let him get away.
Charting our own course toward an unmapped planet, where Captain Chakotay awaits us.
They've attempted to fix my suit, but apparently its intricate circuitry is melted beyond repair.
Deciphering Murph's secret correspondence with a mysterious observer, all leading us to this nebula hinted at in my otherworldly vision.
one Wesley Crusher, ex-Starfleet turned cosmic traveler. In battle, Mr. Crusher convinced a few of my young crew to leap through a rift he created.
But if you want to make a special spark, say to power our protostar drive to get us back to Voyager, you need a special kind of matter. The perfect matter. Bosunite.
You are sure the ship is able to sustain this speed?
Sustain? Speed is what this baby's built for.
Nothing to fear. The proto-warp is merely bending space-time around us.
We went through a lot to get the protostar back after it was lost in time. We faced the unexpected.
Get me shields, warp, anything!
Too late. We've got incoming.
Prodigy is not capable of handling...
Windala escaped Solum on a ship with this power. If Starfleet harnessed it, we can do more!
Better and better.
You're really thinking of early retirement?
Admiral, to the bridge.
We can. In death!
Yep, I like Giacchino's music. Michael Giacchino does all the Star Trek stuff, except for the episodes. That's handled by somebody else. Wow, what a great... So what you just saw was, a few seconds of each episode. Don't know if I'll get claimed for it. Hope I don't get blocked. I try to be very careful. There's a couple of spoilers, of course. We see there, we do have Will Wheaton, Wesley Crusher. There is no Shut Up Wesley at all in the entire 20 episodes, so you will not hear that. So you got some returning favorites. You've got Robert Picardo, the hologram doctor. You got Janeway as both hologram Janeway. You got Captain or Admiral Janeway. You got Robert Beltran. Remember when Robert Beltran said that the Prime Directive was fascist crap? Does anybody remember that? I should remember. I cannot. If you paid me, I could not forget that. You got Will Wheaton. You've got Gates McFadden as Beverly Crusher, and Ronnie Cox is back. Jellicoe. Yeah, remember Jellicoe? Yeah, get it done. You got to get it done, Will. Remember he promoted Data to second in command, and he put Will in his quarters. Don't make me put you in the brig, right? That's when Picard was being tortured by David Warner, the Cardassian leader. Yeah, so you got a lot of Next Generation, and I don't think, no, Quark was only in Deep Space Nine. Only showed up for Lower Decks, but not anything else. But you did see Odo in the holodeck stuff. Yeah. 20 episodes. Now, is this the end? I do not know for sure. Let me check the wiki. Nothing in the horizon. We just have these 2 seasons. Now, let's see how I see things. Picard's done. I don't think anybody wants to see season 4 Picard. Lower Decks is shit. I would rather see this than Lower Decks, okay? Discovery is done. And then you got Strange New Worlds is the only thing that is still around, I think. So they're still ordering 2 more seasons of Strange New Worlds. So they don't have to rely on Prodigy. But you know what? I'm just saying that there's only really. I mean, do you really want to see the Cerritos come back? No. I think they should talk the Cerritos as well. They should talk the Cerritos. I don't know if it was the Tellarite counselor. I like the Tellarite counselor. The only character I liked from Lower Decks was the Bajoran the commander. That guy was a badass alpha male. It was like, he was just like not taking shit. But anyway, um, yeah. So presentation is I'm going to just kind of make it simpler here to review this. Presentation is we're looking at a time anomaly. We're looking at time travel. We do not get to the Kelvin timeline at all, unless you count Michael Giacchino's music. No actors from the Kelvin timeline. Though I thought maybe they kind of took my idea of Zephram Cochrane and the lava lamp, but it's obviously Wesley Crusher as the Traveler, and Wesley Crusher gets a story arc in this. So he is the Traveler. He's like, I don't know if there's any theories in Star Trek if the Travelers are a component to the Q, because the Q do not, they could go through time and space too, but they do it to be tricksters. They do it to be whatever. They do it to be assholes, right? But the Travelers are there to keep the time going. But the Qs don't care. Like, do you think it's like, are the Travelers and the Qs like species, like a sort of a neo species, like Romulans and Klingons? Like they have to keep each other in check? Somebody will tell me in the comments, because they have to keep each other in check. Because if one is too unbalanced than the other, then the time would be disrupted because one has too much power over the other, right? Anyway, so the presentation is that there's alternate universes. We do see the mirror universe. We see a mirror Chakotay with a beard, with a goatee. Of course we do. We see Murph with a goatee, because why not? We see evil Janeway with a 7 of 9 Borg implant. These are all spoilers, by the way, because I just don't care. It's late. It's like, what time is it now? Because I 1:44 in the morning, and I'm pissed off that my Super Nintendo Classic didn't work. But here we are. So you have Mirror Universe. You have the universe where the fake original Star Trek crew, Enterprise crew from that one planet from season 1. You have where Tuvix is the captain. Because one episode plays off like a sequel to the Voyager episode where Chakotay goes into different timelines, where he meets Seska, and there's the black and white reality and all that stuff. This is a sequel to that. There's episodes like that. There are episodes about dealing with the Vulcan Majel. They could have called her Hudek, because Hudek was Magel's first name, first maiden name. Majel Hudek, or Majel Lee Hudek was her last name. But they call the Vulcan Majel, and she gets wrapped up in whatever nonsense the Protostar crew get wrapped up in. I won't lie, a lot of times that what's his name, the Pog guy, the Tellarite here, he gets annoying because he has to talk in the third person. Dal does not do a whole lot like he used to do in season 1. This one is more focused on Gwyn, Ella Purnell, who is of Fallout fame, but Gwyn's character is the focus. John Noble's character, the Diviner, the Father, is a good guy. He has very little appearance as his evil self because they're not focused on him. It's focused on another character who is also from the same alien species as Gwyn and her father, who we saw at the end of season 1, who killed the Diviner, and then kind of moved on. So John Noble works well as a good guy. He was the bad guy in season 1, but we don't see that again in season 2. Admiral Janeway is very brutal when she wants to be. She kind of does a little bit of diplomacy. We have the Andorian commander and the Tellarite counselor. You will have the doctor hologram saying, I'm a doctor, not a mechanic." Kind of doing the same kind of bits. Rock Talk creates a tribble that looks more like a porcupine than a tribble. And Zero gets a new body and then loses their new body, or its new body. I can never, them kind of never make sense to me because it's a plural of more than one person. I mean, it or they. I'm just going to call it it because it is a corporeal form, but you know, it's just how it is for me. I'm kind of not comfortable yet accepting all that stuff. Murph still has like arms and legs. So much is going on. It's about one of my favorite moments in this season was when they got Chakotay to kind of go along with their timeline because their mission is to get the protostar. There's a protostar that should not be there, and they're trying to get it back into its own timeline so that it corrects the timeline so that season 1 could happen and season 2 could happen. And the Diviner would mistreat the kids, and then the end of season 1 happens, season 2. So they have to get the protostar back on the planet, the planetoid where they found it, the moving planetoid, the moving asteroid. And so they get the protostar on nothing but wind. So they let the Jupiter's gases on Jupiter and Neptune, they have to let the gases of the planet that Chakotay lives on to carry the momentum of the ship forward. They have rudders, they have ropes and pulls and chains and pulleys, and they're just trying to get this thing to fly. There's no warp core. So what you saw in one of the seconds was Rock Talk was describing the power of a star. And the power of a star is what's needed to get the protostar working. Obviously, the protostar would never work in Starfleet because it would violate so many guidelines. As they point out, it would violate so many Federation treaties they have with other planets, including like the Romulan neutral zone. There's one episode where the Klingon scientists try to... he's growing like giant tribbles and shit with teeth. And because there was a cartoon episode with the Klingons. Oh, actually, no. Scotty puts the tribbles on the ship with the Klingons at the end of the Trouble with Tribbles. And there's a Klingon scientist because it was a nod to Star Trek Enterprise in which you didn't have enough lawyers and doctors and scientists, Klingons. You always had Klingons who were warriors and warrior castes, but not enough in other fields. And so, maybe it was Kalis' teachings, but Kalis would be the one to guide Klingons as a godlike figure. But anyway, so you had a little bit of every kind of thing going on. No Borg, different alien species, mirror universe. You had these giant squid-like monsters that look like they came out of Paul Gerard's art book. These cat dog. You know what they look like? They look like the creatures that Wolflink goes and takes down because they came from the Twilight realm. So there are these time creatures that will eat you alive because you violate the timeline. So Gwen's out of her time. So because Gwen does not belong in the present time, she belongs in the future. But she's there. So that's why she's having a hard time staying in phase. What else? I think little nitpicks. I think Beverly Crusher did not look like Beverly Crusher, but whatever. She has her hair tied up. It just kind of looks weird. No William Shatner voiceover, no George Takei, nothing like that. A lot of interactions between the cast of Voyager and Wesley Crusher, and you had Roddy Cox as Jellicoe, and he came back. He's being a difficult, he's an admiral who's difficult, and Janeway is the vice admiral. Michelle was great as a Vulcan. There's a little bit of a I don't want to say foreplay, but there's a little bit of a close relationship between Majel and Zero. Majel seems to have a fondness for Zero. Gwen and Dal kind of click. I kind of buy into it, but Dal doesn't do as much this season as he did last season. Rock Talk still has her pets. Murph is Murph. Jake and Pog is still Jake and Pog, so there's not a whole lot left to describe. At the end of all this, they get their own they get a training ship, so it's not a ship that's meant to go and do a lot. They get to do a little bit of exploring, Archer style, probably staying within Warp 5 and not going too fast. But there's a whole incident that's happening. There's a terrorist attack on Mars that's reminiscent of Terra Prime from Star Trek Enterprise. It's been a long road. That's been said a couple of times. Not a whole lot else. They get the uniforms that they get at the end, not these ones, but the newer uniforms that they get at the end of this season are the best uniforms I have seen in a while. Those uniforms that you see in the 20th episode of season 2 are really better than Discovery, better than Strange New Worlds, better than the Cerritos uniforms, better than all that stuff. Janeway is great. Janeway really proves her mettle. Kate Mulgrew does that really well. I have not much more. The special effects, the art, the music is great. The people trying to impersonate Michael Giacchino's music in the episodes, really good. I don't know if Michael Giacchino himself did any of the music for the last episode, but assuming they're going to go to season 3, they want to go to season 3 and then do a theatrical release. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I hope it does. So Star Trek Prodigy, I'm going to give all these episodes a solid A+. I enjoyed everything about this. I think it's the best recent Star Trek thing to come out. It's more Star Trek than Star Wars Acolyte, I'll tell you that. It's more Star Wars than Star Wars Acolyte. You don't need to watch Star Wars. If you are bummed out by Star Wars Acolyte, I encourage you to watch this instead. One other thing I could negatively think about is Dal does not have a lot of shining moments. It's not really Dal's show at that point. It's Gwen's. Jacob Pog has some moments, but it's more focused on other characters. The crew of the Voyager A and Chakotay and other people. So we'll see. I would like to see, and I said this before on Twitter, I would like to see Magel's father be a Romulan double agent spy, because Star Trek Enterprise was going to have that in season 5 with T'Pol, but season 5 is not going to happen, obviously. So, since Magel is a female Vulcan, maybe that would work. Maybe it would turn out that the crew of the Protostar, that Gwen and Dal, maybe they end up being the Enterprise J crew. The Enterprise J crew in the distant future, like the ship that Archer was on was the same people that he could have, if he had run into them. I think that's it. So live long and prosper, and more videos to come. I'm trying to be in a lighter mood, but I don't know what that means.